amazing. I tweeted out Chris, like messages as I was taking Maddie to school, and it's like we listened to the Final Fantasy 11, orchestrated, soundtrack. Sometimes when I take her to school, and it's just great. Like it just takes me back. Like it is a nostalgia drug for sure. And even like when I'm having a bad day, like I'll boot up either Zitao, or I'll most likely my go-to song is Selbina. I don't know why, like, but it's Selbina, hands down. If I'm feeling a little down or blue or tired or just worn out, dude, like that song just cheers me up. And in fact,
it's like town, dude, it's bustling.
Oh, it's bustling. Absolutely, man. And then it's a nice respite, especially when you're in the dunes and you're running for your life. It's like, oh God, I gotta go. And then you hear that music and you're in the lights come up in the zone and you're not dead and you're like, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
We have to reflect this back at you, man. What do you want to see?
On the low end, I mean, I would love to see them merge the 11 and 14 sub for retail and the base game. I think
got it.
Meaning, like the value add, right? It's like, listen, like you're paying your Square Enix sub 11, 14, boom. I think that would help. I think even though retail is not what it is in the private world, I think it's easier to get into. I think they could obviously make some adjustments. I would venture to bet that maybe there's an expansion. Like maybe they're like, okay, we're adding, because they're already starting to add new story to it. A lot of people in my comment sections have been asking, like, do you think, Final Fantasy 11 and 14 are connected in some way with some shard or some, et cetera? And honestly, it'd be cool. We've had Shantoto come over into 14. So there are some connections and some threads that gets me excited. I think if not an expansion or whatever, like I wouldn't mind some extra, like, some more story content. But if they're able to combine those subs, I think as a community, there's plenty of players who've played 14 and they can't justify the time to go and play 11 because it doesn't make sense. Like outside of somebody who's a full-time content creator, that's all they have to worry about. Like there's nobody who could play really 2 MMOs. It just
for like, $30 a month, right?
For $30 a month. And you're like, oh my goodness. Like, well, because no matter what, you're like, am I getting the value out of here, or I want to play here? But originally, a part of one of that's core design, they talked about having the Mog House actually be a gateway between the two games when they're originally like scheming up, 14. Like, how do we transfer the people? One of the things that people have really found out with these like ingrained games, even if they made like World of Warcraft 2, like it'd be really difficult to get people to move over if there wasn't a connective thread in that. And Blizzard, whether like they're struggling with classic servers or not, the fact that it's still one sub that covers that, like I think that's a smart play because that removes a financial barrier, especially to the model. But the fact that retail is still a sub-based game, it just like, I think that's a wall. I think that's a barrier, but people are more than willing to check it out. Cause like one of the things I was talking about with Ty Chris, like just like last week, literally he didn't know, but when he started playing originally, there was a rush. Like Square Enix physically ran out of free trial keys. They only have so many free trial keys for retail that they can hand out every month. And like there was a rush because there was an interest, but there's these walls. And so they break down those walls. I think that'd be really exciting because I'd love for people to experience this thing that I love so much. And even if it's not for them, I'm not going to be hurt by that fact because I'm an adult. And if you don't like the game I like, that, all right, whatever. I'll move on. High end, if they did anything with Unreal, I would just lose it. I would lose it if they sit here and says, here's the next 20 years, guys, because they were working already on the game in Unreal. Like, let's just be honest. Like, and this is where, like, this is not happening. Let's not, anybody listening, like, this is just for fun. This is Brian's, wet dream wish here. But they were working on with it in Unreal. Like it's like they have Final Fantasy 11 in Unreal, and it works. They whatever their models, whatever their business isn't right, but like they paid for that development, pick that up, which it ended a couple years ago. Maybe they were able to pick that up and say, boom, welcome back, welcome home.
So big boy graphical overhaul.
Dude, big boy graphical overhaul, man. But you keep the core aspect of what made the game great.